Liverpool have officially signed a midfielder. Ring the alarms, ring the bells. It's finally happened. Wataru Endo, out of nowhere, 18 million euro fee for a player from Stuttgart who I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard much about. I was like, is this some wonder kid? Is this a player who is for the future? But no, this is the captain of Stuttgart who happens to be 30 years old, as you can see here. And I was a little kind of thrown for a loop. I was expecting Liverpool to go out and sign a big money signing, but Wataru Endo is on the cheaper side, more experience, which Liverpool do need, so that's good. And then I saw this picture of him, and I was like, well, that's interesting. I don't remember the last time I remember any football player playing with a mouth guard. And so I had to do some digging, like every other Liverpool fan. By the way, I'm Sideline Sedo. I talk about all things Liverpool, the Premier League on this channel, so consider subscribing to stay updated. And we're just going to kind of learn a bit more about him just together. 30 years old, captain of Stuttgart, Japanese international, wears the 3 and the 6, can play as a center back as well. This is how the team, I think, would line up. I know Szoboszlai has been playing here on the right, but I think that, honestly, given the current setup of the squad with Trent kind of inverting, and then, you'd have like kind of like a box 2 sort of situation with a back 3 here. I feel as if that having Endo here and Trent here would be better to have kind of McAllister alongside Trent. So if Trent goes further into this half space that he likes to get into, then you could kind of have, Endo and McAllister here, and that's a lot kind of more comfortable than having something like this, where McAllister's out here wide on the left, Robertson's pushing up, Endo could drop back in that situation realistically. We could even see something like this, where we have McAllister and Szoboszlai kind of in the box 2. Sabo, obviously, I assume is going to be playing further forward, but I feel like this offers some flexibility to Liverpool, but don't get your horses, ahead of the cart, so to speak, because he isn't necessarily a star signing. At 30 years old, he's probably not going to feature a lot. And to my knowledge, he's apparently going to take up the James Milner role, so to speak. So he's not necessarily a player who will probably play, say, every game. He'll be rotated. He'll be on the bench. He might start now and then. But I was kind of like taken aback that Liverpool made this signing. But if you look at just this squad as a whole, he allows us to be a bit more flexible if he's in play. Because like Milner, it seems like, to my knowledge, because a lot of Bundesliga fans online have been really just saying that he's extremely underrated for his, kind of his current CV, which, by the way, his current CV at 30 years old, defensive midfielder, 50 caps for Japan, 2 goals. His CV is kind of interesting. He started playing for Belmar and then Shonan Belmar in 2016. He left for the Urawa Reds in 2018, and then he went to Belgium. And he was there for a good year, and then he went to Stuttgart in 2020, and he's been there since. It seems like this, yeah, so this was a loan, and then Stuttgart just bought him straight up. So he played quite a lengthy time in Japan, and I honestly don't know much about him besides these stats that I have here, which I know it's FBref, so it's not like the be-all end-all, but here's some comparisons for Wataru Endo, and he's really good aerially. Like, being good aerially, definitely necessary, as well as the fact that he has a ton of clearances. And it might seem like his stats are kind of average, but at the end of the day, Liverpool need bodies. That's what I've been saying for weeks now. It doesn't matter who it is, get bodies and get people who could be versatile. And this is just that. So while some people might be upset, I'm kind of excited to see how he plays, honestly. He's 5'10", and he has like a decent amount of blocks and clearances and aerials won, but you got to realize he was playing in a Stuttgart team that was 16th in the Bundesliga. But the one word that's been kind of thrown around to describe Wataru Endo in the last couple hours or so since this news is broke, is warrior. People are saying he's just like a absolute bully to get the ball off of. He is just all, work ethic. He's just on people. And that's what we need as a DM or even just as a squad player. It is kind of out of left field. Here's some comparisons to other midfield targets who Liverpool are still linked to, and then Moise Caicedo as well. Caicedo, obviously, the best player here. None of these other players are going for 111, 115 mil. So it makes sense that Moise is like by far the best. But if you kind of look at some of these stats here in context, Wataru Endo seems like a player who is going to be just hustling a lot because he's tied with both Cheick Doucouré and Moise Caicedo with ball recoveries per 90. Doesn't really get too many red cards either. Cheick Doucouré gets a bit more, I guess. This is per 90, so it's not like he only had one, so it doesn't really matter. But all in all, only 3 total cards for him compared to, say, Moise's 10, Sofiane Amrabat's 11, Cheick Doucouré's 10, and Joao Palhinha's 14, a high of 14. He plays a lot of minutes. He's got a lot of stamina based on what I'm seeing. If we look at his passing stats, once again, you can see that he's not necessarily like the most progressive player, but Liverpool don't need a progressive player. Liverpool have enough progressive players. Liverpool needs someone to hold down the fort. And then the question becomes, well, who's the big signing out of these 3 in the middle? Let's say Sofiane Amrabat, Cheick Doucouré, and Joao Palhinha. These are all very decent options for Liverpool. I think any one of these players, plus a center back, and plus maybe someone like Gravenberch, who was linked once again today. There's this kind of relentless link towards him this whole season. He would qualify as under 21. So honestly, why not? For 25, 35 million euros, you take a roll on that dice. He's Dutch. He'll get integrated into the squad by Gakpo and Verge. And at the end of the day, he's a player who in a few seasons you could probably sell on for a profit if it doesn't work out. Anyways, out of these 3, Amrabat, Doucouré, and Palhinha, these 3 center defensive mids seem like they are the kind of ultimate big 3 of potential signings. If Liverpool is going to sign another DM, it's probably going to be one of these 3. These 3 right here are really kind of expected to make the move. Any one of them. Who would I have? I think any one of them would be fantastic. Amrabat would be great. Doucouré would be great. Palhinha has the Premier League experience. So does Doucouré. Amrabat really impressed me at the World Cup. And Fiorentina made it to the Conference League final. So he's clearly a player who has a lot of great value. He's lost possession the least compared to everyone. Wataru does lose a lot of possession, but you would assume that that's just a case of playing in a weaker Stuttgart side. But to me, I think I would go, depending on the price, once again, I think I would go with Amrabat. Doucouré, I think, is fantastic, but is he 60 mil? I'm not sure. Palhinha, also kind of quoted around 60 mil. If we get Amrabat, we still provide ourselves the flexibility to go out and get a Gonçalo Inácio, a Strahinja Pavlovic, somebody who could play at left center back, maybe even Giorgio Scalvini from Atalanta. Those are 3 really good left center backs who could come into the fray, provide some cover for Verge, rotate Verge here and there, be a center back signing for the future. Like, imagine any of those 3 alongside Konate, and that being our center back partnership. That looks really good for Liverpool, honestly. But I would probably rank it in this order. I'd go Amrabat, Doucouré, Palhinha. Doucouré, just because he is a lot younger. He's 23, so even if Palhinha gets on, if he gets a bad injury, that could totally alter the trajectory of his career. Liverpool is very prone to getting injuries, so for me, it's kind of like something that's always in the back of my head. But anyways, I've babbled on long enough, so comment down below. What do you think of Wataru Endo signing for Liverpool? How do you think he's going to fit into the squad? Do you think it's a decent signing? And who would you want to see from these 3 defensive mids, Amrabat, Doucouré, and Palhinha. Who would you want to see as the kind of crown jewel defensive mid signing for Liverpool this summer? Thanks again for watching the video. Like it if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the Sideline Sedo YouTube channel for all your Liverpool, Premier League, and general football content needs. And thanks once again for watching. I'm Sideline Sedo. Peace.